in the middle of the night. I swallowed a damn hairball. Jesus. Oh. Oh.
Go back to West Virginia on this fighting oligarchy tour.
Well, we're going to talk about Trump's promises to working people, in fact, what he has in fact done. And I would tell that gentleman, that coal miner, that what...
Nice. Nice.
What are you looking to do when you go back to West Virginia on this fighting oligarchy tour?
Well, we're going to talk about Trump's promises to working people, in fact, what he has in fact done. And I would tell that gentleman, that coal miner, that what Trump has done in health care is not only done nothing that's positive. The reconciliation bill that was passed a few weeks ago is going to throw some 15 million people off of the health care that they currently have.
One big issue is people who like Bernie's message also really don't like immigrants or like LGBT people. So like you need to make them angrier about their material conditions in America, which are pretty good, than they are angry at immigrants and everything. So in West Virginia, it doesn't matter how bad the laws are for people there. It doesn't matter how bad the healthcare is in West Virginia, how bad the life expectancy is. It doesn't matter that much because they vote on social issues, 90% social issues.
It's going to raise premiums all over this country. So at a time when our healthcare system is broken and dysfunctional, and certainly for the people in a low-income state like West Virginia, massive cuts to Medicaid are going to be absolutely disastrous to individuals, to rural hospitals, to community health centers, et cetera. So I think it's important to expose the fact that Trump is a fraud. Yeah, every now and then he'll do something or say something that's positive for workers. But at the end of the day, what it's all about is supporting his oligarchic friends, massive tax breaks for the rich, major tax breaks for large, powerful corporations.
Crazy. And right now, Trump's tariffs are so bad that John Fetterman here, a Democrat, saying that the tariffs did not crash the economy, it's a win to him. Okay, it's a win that the tariffs did not crash the economy because the expectations were so low.
The trade war. Do you agree with those who think he is?
I mean, absolutely. Well, I think that, I mean, obviously what happened at the EU, and again, I'm a huge fan of Bill Maher, and I mean, I think he's really one of the oracles for my party, and he acknowledges, like, hey, he thought that the tariffs were going to tank the economy, and he acknowledged that it didn't. So, I mean, so for
We thought they were going to crash the economy, and they did not crash the economy. Therefore, you get rewards. And by the way, the tariffs that we were talking about at the beginning would have crashed the economy. 140% tariffs on China and, you know, random 40%, 50% tariffs on a bunch of other countries. If they held and they weren't delayed a bunch of times, it would have crashed the economy. But, of course, Trump backed out on all of them multiple times.
For me, it's like, I mean, again, it seems like the EU thing has been going well, and I guess we'll see.
The EU thing is fake. It's not a real deal.
Trump is winning the trade war. Do you agree with those who think he is?
I mean, absolutely.
Winning the trade war. So winning the trade war is not allowing the economy to fully collapse. Apparently, that's winning now. My standards for winning are a little bit higher, but I guess you can say that. Trump just fired the labor board member that did the stats because he did not like the numbers. So, of course, Trump had to remove that person. Trump did this to the Rose Garden, which is terrible. It was beautiful, all right? There was grass, flowers. It was a beautiful sight, a sacred treasure of our nation, okay? And Trump paved over it with this ugly limestone pattern. And now it looks more like, it honestly looks like the fancy eating area, a fancy eating area to a water park with all of these drains on the outside. Like, it's actually crazy how cheap and pathetic and terrible this looks. In the middle of the night. Please drop a like on the stream. There's probably a bunch of conservatives here. Why am I here early? I can't stream tonight. I'm just recording videos. Thank you for your service, dumb MAGAs. Nice. I love it. I need some content to make videos for YouTube. I haven't seen Ben Shapiro in a while. Nice. Ben Shapiro reacts to woke TikToks. That's so cool.
Already, folks.
That's so dope. You laugh, you lose. But the Biden cover-up. Biden EPA reaction. Ben Shapiro reacts to Sydney Sweeney. Shapiro reacts to AI biblical selfies. So cool. So dope, bro. Gabbard exposes Trump's corruption. Or no, exposes Obama's corruption. Media lies about Trump exploding their faces. Who's hot nowadays? Which content person gets a lot of views? Is it like the Benny Johnson? Is it the... I really don't know. I just go live and hope something happens. And sometimes it doesn't happen, and it's a huge failure, which is okay. We like failures around here. We're liberals. We're the liberals.
All right.
Wait, probably Bernie said what? Kyle Kalinske. I wonder if Kyle talked about Bernie Sanders at all. Let's see. Tea Party Revolt was here. Nothing about Bernie, nothing about AOC. AOC, Bernie genocide. I'm sure Jimmy Dore has something fun to say. AOC teaches morality. Absolutely insane, bro.
Senator Bernie Sanders is an independent of Vermont and serves on the finance.
Whoopsies. Bernie slams Trump for threatening Canada over Palestine move. Yeah, so like all of Trump's tariffs, he's focusing on protecting America. So therefore, Canada said they might recognize Palestine as a state. And if they do, Trump said it would be harder to do a trade deal with Canada to protect Israel because we're tariffing Canada for national security. Yeah.
He joins me now. Senator, it's good to have you. I want to just start with the story we're talking about in the last block, the president reacting to a bad jobs report by firing the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. What do you think about that?
Why not?
That's what they do in authoritarian countries. They fire anyone that says propaganda they don't like or says numbers they don't like. They have to censor all facts. Look at the Ministry of Truth. Look at the books like 1984 and Animal Farm. You need to cut out the good sources of information. So although all the economic indicators show terrible job reports, terrible economic reports, and the numbers for this person that Trump fired have been accurate to the point where Trump has praised them before and praised their numbers. Even that morning, he still fired her, and he's going to put in a loyalist who's going to lie about the numbers. Just like they say, there are 0 border crossings now, 0% border crossings. That is physically impossible. There were some border crossings, but they can lie about the stats, and their audience doesn't care about the verification process at all of actually knowing if things are true.
Get bad news, fire the guy who delivered the news. I think that's sensible policy. Look, the bottom line is, I'm laughing, but this is very serious. In order for Congress and the White House to make good policy decisions, you need to have good information. And sometimes the information is positive, you're happy, sometimes it's not. But you need to know the truth. And what happens in authoritarian societies, the kind of society that Trump is moving us toward, is that when there's bad news, you fire the deliverer of that news, you lie about it, and you say, everything is really going great. And that is a terrible disservice to the American people who deserve to know the truth and deserve to have ideas as to how we can resolve the problems we're facing.
One of the things that was so striking about the
You think Bernie's too weak on Gaza? Who do you think is strong enough? If Bernie's too weak, do you have a list of names that are strong enough on Gaza? Like, what names? Is there anyone in Congress that you would say is strong enough on it?
To how we can resolve the problems we're facing.
One of the things that was so striking about the jobs report today and what it says about the American economy is there's this sort of promise Trump has been making since the first time he ran of like recapturing this lost era of American industrial manufacturing might. And there's a lot of reason people want to do that because people had good unionized jobs and they were able to afford the basics in life. So it's an appealing vision. If you look at the numbers, what we've got is hundreds of billions being invested by 7 different men in AI. And the only thing that's growing is healthcare employment as the population ages and as the healthcare sector grows. It's like the opposite of the thing that's been promised.
Chris, my staff and I are studying AI right now, and we're studying it hard because I think Congress has no clue about what the impact that AI will have not only on the economy, but on our very humanity. I am worried right now that AI is going to replace a lot of entry-level jobs for young people. I worry about rebuilding manufacturing, which is a good thing, something I strongly believe in. But it's not going to mean much to the average American worker if that job is being done by a robot. So I think we have got to take a hard look at the impact of AI. And of course, as you mentioned, tariffs are going to drive up prices. And the idea, by the way, that Trump would use tariffs as a political weapon against a country like Canada, who chooses to speak out on the horrors in Gaza.
She has 800 viewers, dude. She has 800 viewers. She is way more famous than me, Vandred. Someone in chat said there's a female YouTuber recording a stream with a phone number on their YouTube Shorts, which I am streaming on Shorts. Interesting. She's famous.
Is absolutely insane.
Mermaid
Tariffs
Ari.
need to be thought about very carefully. What's their impact on workers in this country? What's their impact on consumers? You don't suddenly raise tariffs because an independent, free country does something you don't like.
True. And also, in general, you can support tariffs and realize Trump's tariffs are stupid. Honestly, if you're pro-tariff, you should be anti-Trump, because Trump is making tariffs look terrible. Trump is making tariffs look like political poison and the worst possible thing to do. If you care about tariffs, if you think they're a good tool, Trump is making them look all silly and shit, bro. You should be mad at Trump for that.
There's a kind of a little bit of, I think, a bait and switch that Trump has pulled off now twice successfully. Again, this kind of idea of this populist resurgence and then economic policy that was not that different in the sort of main legislation he passed from Mitt Romney, Bush, Ryan, huge tax cuts for the rich and all that stuff. And you're heading back to West Virginia, a place that you and I went for a town hall back in 2017, the first time. I want to play this clip because we talked to people again. It was the sort of same thing. Like, people are looking for a leg up. They're looking for a break. They thought they would get it from Trump. Here's something that happened in that town hall. I want you to tell me about what you plan to do when you head there this time. Take a listen.
I voted for him only solely because he said he was going to help us. He was going to put the coal miners back to work, and we're going to have health care and this and that. We need health care. Everybody in this room needs free health care.
Now, are you expecting? I mean, when you think about him, he made those promises to you. You're looking for him to deliver on those promises.
Absolutely.
On health care.
Absolutely. On health care, yes, definitely. Because, I mean,
I do a call-in debate show on my YouTube channel, on YouTube Shorts, and I get a lot of like regular people calling in with a phone number. And someone did call in and said they voted for Trump because Trump is pro-universal healthcare. They believed Trump was going to give everyone healthcare in America, and they believed Trump was a populist who wanted to serve the American working class. It was a lie. They still believe Trump is pro-universal healthcare, but it is very popular to do things like that for Trump's base.
some people are elderly. They have no way to work. They have no way. Then, if they can't work, like Mr. Evans said, they can't eat.
What are you looking to do when you go back to West Virginia on this fighting oligarchy tour?
Well, we're going to talk about Trump's promises to working people, in fact, what he has in fact done. And I would
West
tell that
Virginia.
gentleman, that coal miner, that what Trump has done in healthcare is not only done nothing that's positive. The reconciliation bill that was passed a few weeks ago is going to throw some 15 million people off of the health care that they currently
Yeah, and remember, guys, when Bernie ran for president, both times he was too old. In 2016 as well, 9 years ago, 10 years ago, he was too old, and he looks better than Joe Biden. He speaks better than Kamala Harris by far, and it's crazy. Good for Bernie. Good for Bernie.
have.
Killing
It's
it
going to
still.
raise premiums all over this country. So at a time when our healthcare system is broken and dysfunctional, and certainly for the people in a low-income state like West Virginia, massive cuts to Medicaid are going to be absolutely disastrous to individuals, to rural hospitals, to community health centers, et cetera. So I think it's important to expose the fact that Trump is a fraud. Yeah, every now and then he'll do something or say something that's positive for workers. But at the end of the day, what it's
He
all
says
about
things. He doesn't do
is supporting
things.
his oligarchic friends, massive tax breaks for the rich, major tax breaks for large.
And by the way, if you want to overwhelm the Trump, people love anger in politics. The people that vote Trump are mad at things. And if you want them to be mad at other things other than immigrants, if you want them to be less focused on racism, sexism, xenophobia, all the gay words liberals use, you need a strong economic message, a very strong one, a very strong anti-corruption message. And you can't be super flimsy like most Democrats are. You got to know your attributes and your skill traits and do that stuff effectively. Too many Democrats try to copy the Republicans' whole flow. All right. But like Tupac can't rap like Eminem, you know, but Tupac needs to rap like him or he's not going to. Never mind.
Powerful corporations.
On Wednesday, an amendment you introduced that would have blocked weapons sales to Israel in response to the absolute devastation in Gaza happening right now, particularly the acute risk of famine and deaths from starvation. It got a record number of Senate Democrats. More than half the caucus voted in favor of two resolutions to block that U.S. military sales to Israel on Wednesday night. This strikes me as a shift in Democratic politics on this issue. What do you want the next step to be? Because things still seem exceedingly dire in Gaza.
Look, what is happening in Gaza is literally unspeakable. And I don't care whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, Conservative, Progressive, you do not want billions of your taxpayer dollars to be spent on a policy which is literally starving little kids in Gaza. Very few people in America think that that's appropriate. So I think what you saw by a vote of 27 to 17 in the Democratic caucus, what Democrats at least are hearing from their constituents, and they are making it very clear that they, the constituents, do not want billions more for Netanyahu's horrific policies against the Palestinian people. And by the way, Chris, I have a sneaking suspicion that you're going to see more and more. We didn't get one Republican vote, not one Republican vote for that resolution. But I think in the future, we are going to begin to see Republicans voting to cut aid off to Netanyahu.
Probably, maybe. I'm not sure. Some Republicans. By the way, Hamas is stealing the aid. Hey, if that's happening, why does Israel not let Western journalists in? Let the journalists in. Don't kill all the journalists. Don't kill all the aid workers. How about you don't kill them? If you don't have anything to hide there, probably should allow the media in. Like one thing about Ukraine, about foreign conflicts, you can go there right now. You can go there and look around and ask people and interview people. You could see what's happening there. When it comes to just like things outside of America, the reporting we have from places like Gaza, we don't even know what's happening fully in Gaza. We can only, take the information we do have that's disseminated through United States media. We only see probably 1/5 of what's really going on there, to be honest. And they don't let journalists in. They kill journalists. More aid workers have died in Gaza than in any conflict in human history, I'm pretty sure, in the past few years. It's a very high number, but. Cuomo faceplants when asked about Netanyahu.
So there's new polling that's come out showing that Mamdani wins.
What did Cuomo say? What did he say? Where is it? Right here.
In this conversation, but since you raised it, I mean, you had signed up to be a war crimes defense lawyer for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. considering what's been happening recently with the widespread reports of starvation and troops killing people at food distribution sites, former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Olmert now says his country is committing war crimes. Would you still consider?
It is wild that Zoran got tied to this issue more than Cuomo did, when Cuomo is literally a lawyer on the side of Netanyahu, like working for them.
Consider defending Netanyahu a righteous job for you to take if you're not mayor? For those voters who have the Middle East as part of their calculus, or, according to Ezra Klein's essay in the New York Times recently, might even think that reflexively defending Israel on everything leads to more anti-Semitism. Is that a righteous place for you to be, and an effective one at fighting?
Yeah, guys, call into the show. Show me why I'm a dumb liberal. Call into the show, please. I have a phone number up there. Drop likes on the stream. I have 14 likes right now. I need more than 14 likes. If I get more likes, I get more viewers and more callers.
Anti-Semitism?
Drop some likes.
Well, obviously, as mayor, I wouldn't be participating in any illegal activity, but that was a technical issue.
If anyone is in any Reddit servers, any Reddit subreddits, and you have my link to my stream, you can link it to Joe Rogan or Theo Vaughn or something.
Of the International Criminal Court's jurisdiction. That's what that was about, an overreach of the ICC, which I believe it is. I don't believe they have any legal.
Because we know that at his time as governor of New York State, in his time as a HUD under the Clinton administration, that Andrew Cuomo spent years and years studying the question of technical jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court. So, of course, that's why he was drawn to this, of his deep scholarship in the technical aspects of International Criminal Court jurisdiction. I mean, to watch this guy, like, how does Brian Lear not stop and go, wait, really? Do you really think we're going to buy that?
Yeah, you can't play dumb there. Cool, dude. I don't get no caller, so I gotta be a baller, and I gotta be a scholar. Here you go. I'm gonna watch this really quick. Cringe video. This is Destiny, a liberal debater, former gamer. He's talking to someone about immigration, and I do a lot of phone calls on my show about immigration, debates, and everything, so I want to hear the response.
When the individual entered the United States and is seeking asylum, what do they grant him?
Are you going to talk about how they issue them a receipt to show up at their...
They grant him $1 million, and they give him someone's house in America. If someone comes here illegally, you actually take Americans' housing, give it to the illegal citizen, illegal alien, sorry, as they say. You give them every single piece of any money, any items that every American owns. You give it to the immigrant. Immigrants are living in America in the top 0.01%, dude. They are balling.
In 4 years when they don't have another border.
They have it so
come back
easy.
here in about 3.5 years.
Okay. Even if you did care ostensibly about some
Holy
conservative
crap.
platform, Trump has just done bad things for every part of what you could possibly care about.
Like immigration?
I would say probably, yeah.
Yeah. How so?
It's kind of crazy too. You can probably say the most American people are immigrants. People that have to fight and grind and do all this work to become citizens. That is what makes America America. It really is. The founding fathers did not have the luxury of simply just like, hey guys, woohoo, we live in America now. We live in the modern era. We have everything handed to us. Like right now, if you're born in America, you have a participation medal.
I think that when you rule by executive order, it can be rescinded by executive order if all of his benefits at the border are just because of EOs that he's issued and he hasn't been able to champion or pass any kind of comprehensive immigration reform. I don't think it speaks well.
Be able to deter the crisis that was happening at the southern border under the previous administration?
I mean, it depends on if you believe it was a crisis or not.
Well, the average American.
Yeah, good point, John. After we give them American citizens housing, we'll take your house and give it to an illegal immigrant, and then we burn an American flag to really to seal the whole process. Yeah.
And for consistently over a year said that the immigration, specifically what is happening at the southern border, is one of the most important issues for them. Why is that? If it's not a crisis?
Because I think Republicans told them.
And they also told Democrats as well, who were polled for saying more than 70% of the average Americans say that they don't want illegal immigrants crossing our border, and especially taking advantage of various programs that we have here, whether they are Republicans or Democrats. So I'll ask you again, How is he able to deter illegal migrants from crossing the border at such a high level without passing any policy,
No
any
one wants
executive
to come
order,
to
whatever
America
it is?
right now, bro.
Well, I think there's a lot less people coming to America now, period. Tourism is down like 80% across almost every
We're not
industry.
talking about tourism. We're
No, but I'm just saying in general, like people are
southern border.
Yeah, I'm just saying people. Well, I mean, if less people are even trying to come here, then I imagine illegal crossings are probably down as well. I'm just saying that it's hard to believe that Americans genuinely care about a problem when one, Trump killed the bill outside of office when Biden was in for his last year, and then nothing has been proposed in the meantime. And then two,
again, but you don't need to reform the system in order to deter illegal migrants from wanting to come to the southern border, first of all, and then to illegally enter our country, right?
Sure. Was the goal just to bring immigration?
You think you're so funny. You think homeless Americans are to be laughed at? We need housing for Americans. Yeah, so I think Trump should stop giving huge tax cuts to freaking BlackRock and all these huge corporations. We should be using that money to give people housing in America, especially homeless veterans. But you people want to keep on increasing the national debt to give rich people handouts. That's what you want to do. I want to actually help people in America. Handle a joke.
Illegal immigration is zero.
What is the goal of Democrats? All I look at it is from
well, no, but I'm saying I thought the goal was to like do something different with the immigration system to deal with like the 20 million illegal immigrants that are supposedly here already.
Sure, that is after the previous administration completely disregarded the rule of law and allowed so many people to come into their country and abuse asylum law. So instead of reforming the system, which I'm all for, when there is a crisis, do you reform the system or do you deter the crisis from happening?
So I don't think that there was a crisis.
What is 50,000 illegal immigrants crossing the border illegally, not through a port of entry, every single day, amounting to 3 million people illegally entering the country over a year? What do you call that? What do you tell the New Yorkers, the Chicago people, the Detroit people who aren't your traditional Republicans, going to council city meetings, stiffen it into their mayors, doing what?
This person said 1 million have self-deported. That's 1 million Americans who can get those homes, dude. Bro, you'll believe anything. I have this magical plant in my backyard. If you eat it, you become God. I'll sell it to you for $25. Send me a DM.
If it was so much of a crisis, then why did Republicans kill the bill to cap the amount of illegals coming over?
We just saw that you didn't need a bill in order to deter illegal migrants
maybe
from
you can
coming
do it with EO, but we also see that when you do things via executive order, the judiciary will challenge you on a lot of stuff that you do. So why not do it with legislation?
What did this administration do differently in the first 30 days when it came down to illegal crossings that the previous administration didn't do?
Well, one, they're issuing harsh executive orders. And then two, I think America in general is a less attractive place to flee to at the moment.
It's a less.
But again, I think
when you have metropolitan cities giving you free everything,
nobody in America gets free everything.
Nobody in America gets free anything.
Free everything. Nobody's getting free everything.
Okay, I didn't say everything, but whatever.
Okay.
When an individual
on
the previous administration crossed the border illegally,
he literally said everything.
America gets free everything.
Nobody in America gets free anything.
Free everything.
Wait.
At the moment.
It's a less.
But again, I think
when you have metropolitan cities giving you free everything.
Nobody in America gets free everything.
Nobody in America gets free anything.
Free everything. Nobody's getting free everything.
Okay, I didn't say everything, but whatever.
Okay.
When an individual on the previous administration crossed the border illegally, not through a port of entry, what did they do with the individual?
It depends on if they meet a border guard and they try to claim asylum. It depends on if they're sneaking in through.
Okay.
But when Trumpers say illegal immigrant or illegal alien, they are signaling that they believe every single immigrant is an evil, savage murderer who needs to be stopped right now through any means necessary. They don't mean like, oh, well, some people are seeking asylum. Some people have protective status. Some people are here on, withholding from deportation from certain countries. They don't think like, oh, this person might be fleeing from somewhere and might need help or something. They just want to view. They choose to view immigrants as animals and savages. They actively choose to dehumanize immigrants. That's what they do. That's the reason they say they're going to collapse, Western civilization. Yeah.
But before this, before this, I was saying before, if this was a crisis, it's very strange that there was a huge piece of legislation originally authored by a Republican that both halves of Congress are ready to support, and then it got shot down. And
what was that bill going to do to deter illegal migrants from coming to the southern border in the same way that they are not doing so now?
Well, it codified into law the same type of caps that President Trump is trying to put on.
We don't have caps right now, right, to deter migrants.
Well, one of the issues with the asylum seeking process was people could come forward in like these huge amounts of like record-breaking numbers and claim asylum. And if you had too many people that were doing this, you had too many people trying to claim asylum. One of the things the bill would have done was let you cap it and put a moratorium on it and stay for 2 weeks.
We both agreed that there's an issue with the asylum process and people taking advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
Advantage of it? No. As if I care. Hi, this is the YouTube show. What's up? Why would you do this to me? Why would you call? And when I call back, you don't answer.
When you have 15,000 people coming in on a daily basis.
Yeah, that bill would have prevented that.
that would have not done a single. Okay, let me ask you this. We didn't pass a bill. We didn't reform the system whatsoever.
Yep.
And we deterred it by 99.8%.
And all the people that claim asylum seeking are still in this country. They're not gone. They're
Drop a
still
like
here.
on the stream.
I do care. You don't. So it wasn't a crisis then. So it wasn't a crisis then. At least we agree on that. Yeah.
What is the primary issue at the southern
Can you
border
call?
previously under
Why
the
are you
previous
not
administration?
calling? What
Is
the
it the
hell's
problem
going
when
on
they're
here?
already in the United States, or is it before they actually
I think
come
they
into the
get the
United States?
asylum seeking
What is
process.
the primary issue?
Okay. This time it's gonna work. Hello?
Please leave your message for
You piece of crap. You piece of garbage. How dare you? How dare you?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
All right, I'm here. Well, I can't say his name, but so what's Mr. Orange Man doing? Mr. Wonderful, what's he up to lately? I haven't been paying attention.
He dug up the White House rose garden and replaced it with concrete and limestone. It's really ugly now.
Wow. So the next president. Hold on, sir. Yeah.
All right, I gotta take some debaters. I'm sorry. Thank you for watching. Okay. Hello?
Please leave your message for
Okay, we're not doing that anymore. Bro. Hello?
Please leave your message for
All right, that's the last time for that person. They're getting blocked. Oh my.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Yeah, you're debating Trump. I see on your live stream.
The asylum seeking process was the
It's
primary
a hard
issue.
life.
So
It's
you
a
don't
hard
think
life.
that
It is
people
hard.
entering the country, or sorry, you don't think that people wanting it and being incentivized to come up to the southern border from all over the world, not just South America, but from all over the world, is not a problem? That's not the primary issue?
Well,
You can fix the actual laws that let that happen. Trump is doing illegal things to stop immigration and also doing illegal things to... We sent a person to El Salvador to be raped and tortured, a gay man who did nothing wrong, who did it the right way, the supposed right way, and no Republicans care at all about that.
Why do you care about
the reason why they were
already in the United
reason why they were incentivized was because people realized, especially after COVID, that the asylum process was super abuseful.
What did former President Biden do right after COVID in terms of immigration-related law? He pulled out of the...
Are you going to say remain in Mexico?
Yeah.
So how many people did you say? Wait. How many people did you say? How many people did you say a year were coming over illegally or a day? You said 15,000.
15,000.
I think remain in Mexico was responsible for like 60,000
Remain in
people.
Mexico do?
Remain in Mexico. First of all, we're not just going to play a quiz game, but I'll explain it since you like to ask so many questions.
No,
problem. So remain in Mexico. Remain in Mexico made it.
Remain in
Mexico made it so that it came to the United
from
States.
coming to the southern border.
60,000 remained in Mexico for their process.
That because
I just did.
Okay. And
I didn't know you can see people apply for process on there. But what I'm saying is that if you wanted, you could have done an actual immigration bill that would have addressed so many different layers of this problem, including the massive backlog we have of asylum seekers. And that was the issue.
You're super passionate about asylum seekers.
Because that was the issue. That was the problem.
You're super passionate about asylum seekers. I'll ask you this. Where do the super majority, not 50, 60%, more than 90% of asylum seekers, true asylum seekers, not bullshit asylum seekers, where did they seek asylum? If we're talking about Venezuelans.
Are we going to say like the country of first entry where they arrived at first?
They go to their neighboring country. More than 92%, according to statistics, actually go to their neighboring country. So let me ask you this. If you're facing legitimate asylum, first of all, are you going to track all the way up to the southern border, pay thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars sometimes because you're bringing your family to pay the cartels to then have a legitimate asylum case and then enter illegally, not through the port of entry? If you have a legitimate asylum case, you can adjudicate that in the United States with temporary protective status in the United States. You don't have to sit in Mexico and wait for your asylum.
Do you think people just travel 30 days on foot through dangerous territories to make it to America just to put themselves in position to possibly be detained and separated from their family? Do you think people just do that? Do you think any it's just crazy.
Why would they go for asylum over a TPS?
Why would they go for asylum over TPS? Because asylum is much easier to seek in the United States and then be granted TPS, right? When
TPS is limited.
Let me ask you this. When the individual entered the United States and is seeking asylum, what do they grant him?
What do they grant them?
Yeah, while they adjudicate their case.
Are you going to talk about how they issue them a receipt to show up at their case, and you're talking about
They
relief?
give them temporary protective status.
Yeah,
right.
Because they're waiting for their case to be adjudicated.
Of course, yeah.
So it would have been nice if we had more judges to adjudicate these cases, like the border bill would have given us.
It would be nice, like we have right now, a 99.8% reduction in amount of individuals not only crossing the border illegally,
So that
but coming to the.
So the number is not true. Just to be clear, the number's not real. But
yeah, those are real, but it's fine. It's the usual step.
what is
It's
Trump
not
doing
real.
to get rid of
It's
the?
real,
What
but
is
it's not
Trump
actually
doing to
happening
get
that
rid of
much.
the 5 or 10 million asylum seekers that are already in the United States?
He's trying every legal means that he can possibly.
Why would someone talk to Destiny? He is a very intelligent person, and I think he's very stupid on some things, but he's very intelligent in the way that he does arguments and debates. So he is good at taking things from, for one. For two, I would talk about Hassan and Destiny, and I'd probably even talk to like Vanguard and Brianna Joy Gray if I could. It's good to get a bunch of different audiences and to influence other communities to act in a more pragmatic way. So I would say it's still worth it.
So nothing. So he hasn't done anything.
Well, did he try and enact the Aliens Enemies Act to remove individuals
He is
out of
a
the country
smart
with
person.
limited
That would
process
only
and no
people
due process?
from
big personal
Venezuela, and
insights.
that act requires us to be at war with the country, or
Did he
for them
just
to be
point
invaded us, which is probably not true.
Well, okay. Well, there's actually a really detailed article about.
To be
how
clear, there's absolutely no detailed argument about how that can work. The only way that it does
Racist Ezra
is to
Klein?
confound
Are you
basically
saying, wait, wait, you mean this? Do you mean this guy?
about that.
Oh, I thought you said you cared about policy and rule of law. I do. So
Well,
Clearly you don't.
Apparently you don't, because you don't think that 15,000 people coming into the country illegally on a daily basis is not a problem. And
I did think it was a problem. That's why I supported the bill
well,
to
you
cap
just
it.
said no. You
But I prefer to have legislation from Congress for immigration rather than just executive orders from the
It's not
president.
a crisis.
Do you think executive orders?
No, just because someone has a bad opinion on Palestine doesn't mean I discredit every other thing they do. I mean,
Are better, or do you think legislation
New
from
Yorkers? Can we finish?
Like, what
Can I
do you
finish the
think?
Point, or you?
No, because you just it's like a quiz. I'm curious. Do you think that it would have been better to pass the bill or just to do things via executive action?
I think it's better to deter when it
You don't have an
comes down
answer
to
to
a
that?
crisis.
Is it better to have comprehensive border legislation or an executive order that can
I
be
think that
rescinded by
when
the
there is
president?
a crisis, you deter the crisis from happening. And once you don't have a crisis anymore, you can focus on reforming the immigration law.
So if after 4 years,
it's also like there's a whole thing where there are gonna be cringy young white people, young white men who are gonna fall into some online community with really edgy and probably negative qualities. And if you want someone to go and be a liberal, you need people like Destiny to have a place for these edgy, dumb white guys. So like Asmongold fans, possible Asmongold fans, someone like Destiny is probably good for them because he is edgy, he's offensive. A lot of lefties hate him. So like, I wouldn't use it as like a moral beacon or use it. I would never bring up Destiny to a real person. He would scare them off. But if I know someone who is a gamer who plays Counter-Strike and they have moderate opinions, I think he's someone that can move that person over rather than being radicalized into being an authoritarian like Asmongold. Like Asmongold advocates for extrajudicial killings of politicians, bro. So
years if Trump doesn't have an immigration bill, do you think that would have been a failure of this
I
administration?
think that if they don't reform the asylum and close the loopholes when it comes down to asylum now that we don't have the crisis at the southern border, I think that'll be a failure by the administration. Absolutely. But it's a whole...
Yeah, then we'll wait and see what happens in 4 years when they don't have another border bill.
Well, we'll come back here in about 3.5
no,
years.
it is true.
Okay.
It is true. It is true. A real person in real life, I would not show him to. Like, I would not show him to internet people. Or I would show him to internet people. Some really deep internet people. But yeah, he makes rape analogies for literally everything, bro. Like that person's not going to be super palatable.
I just want to end this to asking you one more time. When 15,000 people are entering the country illegally on a daily basis, what is the primary issue? Is it once they're in the country or them actually coming to the border from all over the world?
The way you're phrasing your question, it sounds like you're alluding to the fact that there could be that issues that the country of Mexico faces due to destabilization on the border because of all the different presence of crime and people who are paying for passage. Or is there any other quiz?
I'm asking you, what is the primary issue?
Primary, it depends on which interested party you're talking about. I don't
care about parties. I'm asking you. I'm not asking
for me. It doesn't matter to me at all. It doesn't affect me.
Who am I
personally.
debating?
Well,
I'm debating you about immigration, right? So I'm asking.
So there's multiple ways to have this conversation. One is competing with the actual points like directly. So you can either engage in the mud of it, you can engage in the sparring, or you could be defensive and then take jabs when you can, and go for bigger hits. So like, I was watching Brian Tyler Cohen yesterday, and he was debating Benny Johnson, and Benny Johnson talked about the typical conspiracy propaganda points, and Brian did not respond right to those points because you're entering their playing field. Brian just brought up his propaganda points about like people losing healthcare, America falling on the world stage, the Epstein stuff. Like you hit them back with other strong points with a competing narrative. It's not always good to like do what Destiny does and accept the MAGA framework and play in their world and say like, oh well, I actually agree with you, but I do it the right way. We do it the right way because we're liberals. I prefer to do more contextualizing, more narrative building on the on those points and give a competing vision of the future rather than engage in their vision. He gives way too many points to the right wing, like a chosen little liberal. I don't like that. That's not good. Okay, there's one caller. I have to get water. Is my audio okay? Wow, that was scrumptious. I don't want to talk about immigration today. I talk about immigration all night, I think. All the time. It's all people talk about. Hi. Hi. Hello.
Hello?
Howdy.
How's it going?
Hey. You're here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is my first time ever, getting through on one of these.
You're good.
Yeah.
What's up?
So what was the debate? I don't think Trump's doing a terrible job, but I don't think he's doing a good job either.
So like right now, when you buy stuff at the store, there's gonna be a hidden tax on everything. So if you buy a car, you buy pretty much anything at Five Below, Walmart, whatever, it's gonna go up like 5 or 10%, because of the tariffs. And Trump is bragging about that. So that's a big thing happening right now where the cost of our food, of everything is going up like 10, 15%, more than it went up over Biden's presidency. And that's a decision Trump is making to tax us more on imports that we import for businesses and also for ourselves. So right now, from your own pocketbook perspective, Trump is raising taxes for us while cutting taxes for the wealthy. And I think that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like, I'm actually an anarchist, so like, I like anything that destructs. Like everyone, like just like renewable systems. I don't believe Trump should still be president. I believe he's done enough to get impeached, but I don't think he's any worse than any other president we have besides the racism bullshit.
Yeah, he's not that good. I like
Like,
Biden more.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just happen to be one of the people I'd be one of the people that's not really like affected by him or procedures because like I don't make enough to get tax breaks, but I'm not poor enough to really get government assistance. So like everything he's done doesn't really affect me. But like I understand that like how important those things are.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, all of us are going to have our taxes go up. When they cut Medicaid, a lot less Americans are going to have jobs in general because a lot of hospitals are going to close down. When those hospitals close down, a few more million Americans who have health insurance still will have to drive like an hour or two because the local hospital closes down. There's going to be ripple effects all throughout the economy. It makes everything more expensive. It makes the country fall apart more. It makes the country worse in general. No matter what ideology you are, it could be conservative, liberal, whatever. It doesn't matter. These are bad. You can do good conservatism. You can do good liberalism. You can do a good form of any government. But right now, all he's doing is authoritarianism. So there's no way I would be able to endorse literally anything other than getting rid of the penny. That's good. He's getting rid of, or he wants to get rid of the penny. That's a good thing. But that's all.
Oh, I don't think it should be. Yeah, I don't think it should be reprinted, but I also don't feel like they should get rid of it. Like I said, I already can't go to the hospital because I don't have insurance. I work 65 hours a week, and I really don't make that much to pay for a hospital bill unless I went to a hospital bill. And so also I had like a cold, and like they charged me like $3,000 just to tell me that my blood pressure was high.
It's expensive, huh? Yeah, it's expensive. We should have universal health care in America. That's what I'm afraid
Yeah.
of.
I still always tend to vote Democrat because Republicans seem to hate poor people. So like I am kind of upset, and I was almost didn't vote this last election because I was promised I was going to be able to get my student loans canceled. And I know a couple of my friends got theirs canceled by then, but I was like, I really took that. I really felt like it was like Republicans that was the main reason why that didn't happen.
Biden tried. The court struck him down, but he did do things like capping payments or lowering payments and helping there be better income repayment plans for student loans. So, like, with Trump's new bill next year, your student loans are going to be a lot more per month. I've seen some go up from like 300 to 500 a month, maybe go from 200 to 400, maybe go from 500 to 800. So if you have student loans, they're going to go up a lot more because Biden was capping the repayments and making them slower. And he was pausing them for certain periods and trying to help people. They got struck down by the courts, but Biden did everything he could to cancel student loans, and now Trump's going to make them even worse.
They still won't have the thing where you can choose the speed at which you want to pay them. 'Cause I had mine until the pandemic. I had mine on the highest level, so I was paying like a ridiculously amount of money, and I got my student loan down per like $20,000. Then the pandemic happened, so and I haven't really looked at my student thing because my student loan got shuffled between 3 different companies in those last like 2 years.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I appreciate the call. Definitely feel free to hop in our. We have a Discord and stuff too if you want to chat with people who are in there. Usually at night.
All right.
All right, man. Go. Appreciate it. Is my microphone loud enough? Does it sound good? I mess with the settings. I hate doing anything.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Yo.
Howdy, what's up?
Hey, yo, I just stumbled across your stream. I was coming from another that I just wanted to participate in. She was kind of a dimwit. But I thought that you weren't very condescending like she was, and I just thought I'd try my hand at it.
I am condescending. Just give me a chance to develop.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people that are doing these things are unemployed idiots right now. I've watched a couple of them, and I am an unemployed idiot too, right?
Okay. Congratulations, I think.
Oh my gosh, dude. I love people that are built to communicate like you. It's funny. I don't know. Trump's policies, I feel like most conservatives or past and present Trump supporters right now are just kind of on the edge of continual support for him, or not, just because what are we, like, coming up onto just a year, a quarter of the time of his presidency. But I mean, I just feel like his past policies and actions were more in line with my worldview.
I'll tell you what. In 6 months only, he's already outdone Biden on total airstrikes. Biden in 4 years had less airstrikes than Trump has had in the first 6 months. So let's go, Trump. W Trumps in chat. More airstrikes. Let's go. More war. Woo!
Airstrikes are not war. I don't know how you're equating that.
Sorry. So what are airstrikes?
Airstrikes are a calculated deposit of mostly to take out.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's a good thing,
calculated
but
deposit. Yeah, and war is a calculated team that goes into a country and they just try to, help shift policy with calculated rounds of ammunition. It's not war. It's not war if we bomb Yemen or Somalia or if we bomb Iran or if we bomb Gaza or anywhere. It's not war. It's all just, memes.
I never said it wasn't war if we bombed Gaza.
Is it war if we bomb Iran?
I feel like that.
What about bombing
that's
Iran's nuclear sites?
I never said it wasn't declaring war. Not all of the strikes. Even with Obama's crap presidency, I wouldn't say that he was declaring war by doing drone strikes during his presidency. I wouldn't count that as
many of them are probably illegal.
Under his belt.
They're probably illegal strikes as well. But the whole thing is Trump is going to make the globe more stable. So Ukraine got 4 times worse. Gaza got 4 times worse, maybe even worse than 4 times. I don't know the exact numbers right now, but I know Ukraine got a lot more airstrikes at civilian centers, and Trump was cutting intel away and helping Russian propaganda. We have more airstrikes globally. We destabilize more parts of the world. We have less stability with programs like our USAID. China has replicated those programs and took away our influence globally. I know conservatives hate it because it supported gay people somewhere, and they hate everything. They're so many conservatives get very emotional about gay people. So if they realize there's a gay pride parade somewhere, they're very anti-freedom and pro-authoritarian. So they get mad about USAID. But they could have just cut that and not cut the other stuff in USAID that helped us get influence globally without war. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like we're spending a lot of money.
I'm trying to learn myself here.
So USAID was the program that was cut right away. So it's United States. I think it's International Development is the actual name of it. People think it's USAID. Yeah, it's International Development. We would help run programs in other countries, whether it's for diseases, whether it's we helped places in Africa with PEPFAR and other programs that helped people not spread diseases and not die from diseases like AIDS and other diseases as well. We helped independent media survive in authoritarian countries and authoritarian regimes. We helped get free press into authoritarian areas like Russia and China more so than it was before. That's why Russia and China really cheered when the Trump admin killed these programs, because they were able to seize more parts of the world. Some people view USAID, they do some actually just good things. Many people view it as a way to get influence and power and control in the world without using actual bullets and bombs, which I would much rather do soft power to manipulate countries than do bombs and invasions. I think everyone involved is better off as a result of doing that rather than doing more airstrikes like Trump did.
Correct, but how are we going to spend all of our money?
We're going to spend it? Oh, that's a good question. We're going to spend it by giving Ghislaine Maxwell...
all the money we spent on those extremely complex bombs.
Ghislaine Maxwell is going to get a mansion after we settle with her and give her reparations for her mistreatment.
Which one was Ghislaine Maxwell? Was that the
She's Epstein's,
hot water?
She was Epstein's girl, and she ran the sex trafficking, sex pyramid scheme.
Oh. Dude,
and Trump is best friends with her. Yeah, so Trump might pardon her.
I haven't really gotten that into the Epstein. You'll probably find a way to.
Okay, so here it goes. Here's a quick
take
summary.
me down on that, but I feel like Trump is just kind of a social antidote to just kind of the radical ideologies that were forced on us for those years.
Okay, so we know. Okay, so you're emotional a little bit. You're a little bit offended by liberal ideology. You might feel attacked by some of it. So we'll talk about that. A really quick review of the Epstein stuff. Trump was best friends with Epstein for 15 years, and they went out and got girls together. Trump has said multiple times he knows Epstein likes him younger, on the younger side. With the current thing, Trump said there are no Epstein files at all. First, he said there's no Epstein files. Then he said, well, Jeffrey Epstein's a loser. Why are we still talking about him? Then he said there are files, but Obama made them. And now he says again they're fake. Then he said again they're real, but it's fake by the Democrats, like the Russia hoax. And now his administration is working with Ghislaine Maxwell, the person who ran the sex pyramid scheme, the biggest sex trafficking ring in probably American history. Now they're working with her on a sweetheart deal, put her into a minimum security prison, and they might be giving her a pardon now to clear Trump's name. So who knows what Trump did?
Yeah, no, for sure. I feel like, of course, with this conversation, it seems like I'm not presenting as much of a strong counter argument, but I feel like just social shifts and with his policies that are affecting the American people, which of course I heard before you were talking about immediate effects of his I'm trying to think, his economic policy, I feel like was definitely not as much, it was not felt as badly as the effects of Biden's economic policy prior to this. I can just look around and see grocery prices and gas prices being down compared to the more like 2022, 2023 region, which had highest gas prices anyone had seen during that time, which we know gas is obviously linked to our geopolitical climate and affairs.
Well, yeah, president has almost no control over gas prices. It's a very small amount of control. Biden did everything he possibly could to lower them, but it wasn't possible with our global, like you said, the global affairs matter more, the cost of oil. We don't own the oil companies. They set prices, they set supply, they decide when to drill, when not to drill, how much to keep in supply, when to cap it. So, like, giving a president points for that doesn't really make much sense.
Yeah,
like
so
on
why
things like
wouldn't
the
you support Trump's drilling in the U.S.? Do you support that?
I don't support giving out a bunch of new federal permits, but Biden gave out more permits than Trump did. So, I mean, both parties do the same thing on oil.
How is joining the Paris Climate Agreement giving more leniency to drilling for oil on Biden's part?
Well, Trump left the Paris Agreement. Staying in that was a good thing. It was just like saying we're going to be on the mission of helping the world become more sustainable. And hitting certain targets.
Yeah,
we just left it as a symbolic thing to show that we are not going to be helping out with that. America right now is being crippled by turning against green energy. We need green energy, solar panels, wind farms, and nuclear energy to survive against China. China's leading the world
Nuclear
right now with
energy
green
is
technology.
great. I can agree with that.
Well, all of those things, China is investing heavily in those technologies because the next generation of energy is going to be by those things. And Trump is reinforcing coal, which is the most deadly form of energy, is the weakest form of energy, is the most difficult to mine and to get to actually use with modern technology. And we're going backwards. So we're adopting more coal, and China's using.
Are we
coal
though,
production and
really?
everything
Because
to
I
go
feel
after
like
green
China
energy.
is using. I feel like China is using child laborers to get to that point.
Okay, yeah, but they're still competing with us. They're using forced labor for sure, but they're competing with us. In America, we're crippling ourselves by not doing green energy when we really should be. We're doing it under Biden, but Trump is shutting it down.
Isn't that the point of America, though? We'd rather go down with a fight rather than with a fizzling into nothing with child laborers and bad human rights.
We're not fighting, though, or going down without a fight. We are doing the equivalent of trying to psych someone else out of a fight, making them scared to fight us because we're punching ourselves in the face and slamming our face against a concrete wall. Like, you don't want to mess with me, bro. I'm crazy. And you just start hitting yourself and destroying yourself. And, like that's what we're doing right now. We are self-mutilating our country and getting no benefit out of it and giving China the world stage. We're not fighting at all. We are just like giving.
During
surrendering.
Biden's presidency, that wasn't, because honestly, of course, there's a lot more that goes into U.S. government than just the presidency. I'm not gonna be one of those absolute idiots that think that the president is the king of the world and whatever they act on is what's just going to happen. But some people in a lot of other countries may think that way because our media is so radicalized. So when that happens, they're going to think whatever, if Joe Biden, for instance, I'm not even going to use Trump, if Joe Biden was seen as incompetent, if the news made him seem incompetent, that's what the world is going to view it as, even when that's not the case. You have
the
obviously
world
higher ups in the military, you
matter.
have congressmen and women,
No, the issue is the American people pay attention to things that really don't matter when it comes to bare bones issues and policy. So like with tariffs, for example, Biden did the carrot and the stick approach. So we had subsidies and tax credits and tax cuts for manufacturing in America on things like semiconductors and chip manufacturing with the Chips and Science Act. He also did targeted tariffs on semiconductors from China. That's a good industrial policy. China hated it because it actually worked. Now, Trump is turning away from that strategy, and instead he's self-embargoing the U.S., which means he's making our country harder to sell in for even our allies like Mexico and Canada and Australia, which we have great relationships with already. Trump is tanking those relationships, saying the enemy's Europe. And we're actually making Europe sign historic trade deals with China now because we're such a bad country to invest in. So like when it comes to the perception of it, Biden looked weaker probably because he was falling apart physically and being super tired and everything. But the actual policy and the words he said were strategically good. But the issue is most people in general don't have time to understand all those ins and outs of politics. It's complicated. The people talking about it are not the most like down to earth, and they don't go on these podcasts, and they don't seem relatable. So yeah, we elected someone who's what is Trump? He's never ran businesses. He's never really ran real estate. He's a branding expert. He's a reality TV star. He made money off of marketing deals and trademarks. So like,
that is correct.
That's what he does well. So if someone does a bad job but can advertise it well, they can win an election, which is a popularity contest, over someone who did a decent job, but they ran on it badly. It's like blaming, like Biden took over when the house was on fire, and he got blamed for the fire, although he's the one that put the fire out. It just, although Trump caused the fire.
Did he really put the fire out, though?
America had the best
That's what I was
return.
gonna say. America had the worst economic pricing during 2022 to 2023.
No, America had the strongest economy in the
pandemic.
globe, man. No, America had the strongest economy globally of any country. America had by far the strongest economy with growth numbers, even with inflation compared to real wage growth. America was the what did they call it? It was the best economy in the world after COVID. Now the entire world was facing inflation.
You think it was the best economy in the world after COVID, dude? What?
Our gas
That's
prices.
delusion.
You think?
Man.
No, wait. Don't. Okay, I want you to look back at what you just said there and think for a second. When you say someone else is delusional, now you can ask why I think that, and you can be a critically thinking person. But you said gas prices were high during those years. But think about it. Gas prices were high during those years, right? Right? They were high. Gas prices were high.
Yes.
They were like $6 or $7, $8 in Europe and Canada. In other comparable countries, the prices were higher. The jobs were less plentiful. Our economy, one reason we had so much immigration was because we were the best economy economically after COVID. It wasn't just because we had a bad border policy. People wanted to come to America for those reasons. We like by every metric, we were the strongest economy after COVID by far. Again, it's like a burning house. You can save the situation, make it a little bit better, but it's still a bad situation overall. So you get blamed for all that, especially when Trump's out of office. He's Monday morning quarterback and telling not Andrew Luck, whatever. You know the analogy. I'm not going to finish it.
Yes. No, I respect that you acknowledge that America was the best after COVID because of how it handled in respect to the other countries, but I don't think that was a direct result of more liberal-leaning policy. I would think that was more a result of the representatives from more of the states, like Florida, like Texas, et cetera, the big, bastions of Republicans,
Actually, the policies that worked the best to stimulate the economy in the American Rescue Plan, the Inflation Reduction Act, the CHIPS and Science Act, Republicans were against most of them. In America right now, I think 70 to 75% of our total economic activity is in blue areas. Red states have a huge deficit with taxes. Red states are getting welfare from the federal government and affirmative action from the federal government. Blue states and blue areas pay far more into our total economy. Blue states function better. If you take all the blue states and take their life expectancy, for example, people in blue states live around 4 years longer on average than people in red states do. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know. But, I mean, blue states accept trans people, so gay. Gay.
Well, of course, obviously, because you're counting the coasts. There's definitely going to be more obvious generational wealth, and I feel like
even poor people in blue states live longer.
I feel
even
like
poor people do.
I feel like more blue-leaning people are usually, on average, more critical thinkers, but they, in the long term, I don't know if they're correct.
Do you know in American history, Republicans have added by far the majority of national debt, and Trump alone has added 30% of our total national debt, and Republicans increase the national debt every time they're in office, and Democrats reduce it. Bill Clinton even had a surplus. On jobs, for every 40 jobs a Democrat has created, a Republican has created only one job. It's 40 to 1. But Republicans are good liars. They propagandize good, and they are good on social issues. And not good. I'm pro-freedom. But pro-freedom is always an unpopular position, whether it's civil rights movement, that was not popular until, that took a long time. Gay rights, trans rights, all that kind of stuff takes a long time. But still, liberals are objectively correct on most things. That's why even Elon Musk's own AI bot, he's tried breaking Grok so many times. Like, Elon Musk has went into Grok to make Grok biased for conservatives around like 15 times already. And every single time, Grok is a liberal cuck. And they keep on asking, why is Grok such a liberal cuck? All the facts we have knowledge of are just liberal leaning because it's just more. Oh, here, one second though. So you said something about blue red states. So in low income people in California, New York, and Vermont live around 81 years. Low income people in Indiana, Tennessee, Oklahoma combined, they live around 75 years. So it's like a 5-year difference if you live in a blue versus a red state because of the air quality, the water quality, the programs for healthcare in blue states. The happiness levels people are usually a little bit more, have healthier lives in blue states. You can like make up your own or like come to your own conclusion on why that is. Maybe it's because they have more money in some areas. But I'm saying even people that are in these states and they who are poor, even poor people last longer, or something, not last, but they live longer in blue states.
Well, of course, I'm sure you could acknowledge that's a much more complex and nuanced issue to see why people live longer in certain states versus why they do not, because of obviously the food problems in some of those more rural areas if you're not close to more metropolitan areas. Because Joe the farmer, obviously he's just planting corn and soybeans, and I know this for a fact. I'm not trying to have an authority bias on this, but they, unless you have a family homestead or I forget what is the term for farming for your own self-sustainment? There's a specific term for it. You know what I'm thinking about? I forget what it is, but unless they are farming in that way, I'm sure we can agree that they are.
Or I feel like self-sustainment is the word that I usually hear.
Yes, but there's a more specific
I don't know
term
what the
for
word
it.
is. I use self-sufficient.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know if it isn't coming to mind, but
there's one person spamming. Just really quick for the chat too. Here's a list of life expectancy ranking by state in 2025. So, number 1 is Hawaii, and they probably have a higher percentage of rich people there, I assume, because it's a small island, very expensive to live on, healthier probably living. One issue with red states as well, the obesity rate in red states is crazy. Like West Virginia is at like 44% obesity, which is freaking super high. That's almost half the people there. So number 1 is Hawaii for life expectancy at 81.5. Then we go California, blue state, Minnesota, blue state, New York, blue state, Connecticut, blue state, New Jersey, blue state, Colorado, blue state, Washington, blue state, Massachusetts, blue state, Vermont, blue state, Oregon, blue state, Rhode Island, blue state, New Hampshire.
Yeah, I can totally
Utah,
agree that those are cultural. I guess perpetuation.
And those are governing issues in these states as well. Like I said, lack of healthcare, more pollution, the habits.
How is more pollution making people fatter?
The rates of cancer are higher in these states. The rates of like heart conditions in these states. Like living in an area, like we know that a lot of like black kids develop more asthma and everything because of the smog and the pollutants in cities. And right now, like all these AI data centers are focusing on building in black communities and just dumping their chemicals in the water, and they're like. This happens in areas with bad pollution issues, and it just attacks your body more and more as you live. And we could look at rates of like smoking and everything like that too. But still, I'd say it's interesting because even versus like Europe, for example,
that is only in relation to red state metropolitan areas or all metropolitan areas, because
France
obviously I feel like all
83?
metropolitan areas in the U.S. is going to have higher pollution. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, but probably better healthcare. 1 second. Life expectancy in Europe is like Spain 83, Italy 83.8, Cyprus 82, France 83. So like even in Europe, Sweden around 83, Slovenia 82, Croatia's even 78.6 is higher than ours. The fact that like the blue states in Europe, like Europe has universal health care, they have better regulations on environmental issues, they have happier, healthier lifestyles, less time on the phone, lower obesity rates. So I mean, it's just when you move more liberal, the life quality is simply, it's just higher. They respect things like science. Right now, the red part of America is leading a push to drink more raw milk and have less vaccines. And they think that drinking real sugar is healthy and fast food, and they think eating food cooked in beef tallow is healthier than food cooked in seed oils. So yeah, I don't know.
You don't agree with that? That a natural animal product isn't as bad as a highly processed, basically a chemical?
Do you think butter's healthy?
It depends on what you mean by healthy. I mean, I wouldn't really say that a bunch of butter is good for you, but I feel like it's one of the better fat intakes you can
processed?
have.
Do you think beef tallow is healthy?
Yeah, I feel like it's one of the better ways to get fat.
Well, beef tallow is much worse for weight gain, much worse for food addiction, much worse for heart health and cholesterol.
I know it's much worse for
seed
food
oils
addiction.
are healthier, but seed oils are healthier. It's okay though. It doesn't
Really,
matter.
I cannot. It's okay. We don't have to
On
argue
a broad level of the amount we use them.
There's just
There's no difference. There's no difference in them. But the foods you're eating with those makes them less healthy because you eat more of it. So like the beef tallow cooked French fries, like why would Maha, that focuses on making people healthier, encourage fast food? They partner with they partnered with what, that one burger place? It's not Shake Shack.
Steak and
it's,
Shake.
Steak and Shake, yeah.
Steak and
Shake, now they're saying we're bringing health back to America. We're making America healthy again. And it's a picture of them with like a like a half-pound cheeseburger, a milkshake with a candy cherry, some whipped cream. We got some fries. We got a large soda. It's like, dude, what are we doing here? That's not health.
Why do you, seriously though, genuinely, why do you think that people like in the 60s, you can see like it's always like the very cliche like AI video where it's where it's like, how do I get my body back into some old head? Why do you think that they were so healthy whilst eating those things? Is it just because it was in moderation?
Are you asking me why AI generated pictures of a fake pest? Or are you asking me why that's... You know that's fake, right?
if you want to believe that, but I have pictures of all of my grandparents and great grandparents, and they were
fast food addiction.
very
it's
healthy,
fast food
and they
addiction.
didn't have crazy.
It's
body
not
mass.
seed oils. It's fast food addiction and overeating. The life expectancy, by the way, in the 60s was under 70 years. We're above 80 now. So I mean, people lived much less time back then.
Yeah, whilst eating even worse food isn't health.
We probably eat
So
with
awesome
fast
that
food
we
and food addiction.
that
now,
we can live in a time that modern medicine is that
but
good.
food addiction now is probably worse, I'd assume, on a broad scale. I'd have to look at it. But what was the obesity rate back then? And we have to. I don't.
Yeah, I would
but
agree. I would agree.
The point is, like, do you think like high fructose corn syrup is more healthy or less healthy than cane sugar?
I would have to have more increasing data, but just going with what I would think, I would probably say cane sugar is more healthy as a straight, unrefined product of a plant.
And I just saw a study. I can link it in chat, but it's from the Harvard School of Public Health. How seed oils help reduce heart conditions. For high fructose corn syrup, versus cane sugar, chemically, they're pretty much the same thing. They're very slightly different. Same health effects, same health outcomes. It really does not make a difference at all. But a fun fact for everyone. All right, I appreciate the comment. Anything else you want to end on?
Yeah, I just end on, I mean, I definitely am still just trying to find my way with my thinking about Trump, of course, as we can probably both agree, verbatim, as I said before. There's definitely many different, more complex factors at play, but I just feel like feel like Trump was an antidote that the American people wanted, and we can see that through him winning the electoral vote, just through abolishing that stupid DEI, where it was almost like we were becoming
DEI is awesome.
Becoming, you like an Orwell-esque state? you like that, really?
You realize Orwell was against the right wing in America, right? He was against right wing fascism and authoritarianism. He was a socialist. You know, Orwell was a socialist.
Yeah, there are people that are black and support Hitler. How does that make sense?
No, I'm saying George Orwell. He was a democratic socialist. He was mostly anti people like Trump.
You can use someone's ideas.
Wait, how is DEI Orwellian? How is taking into account equality Orwellian? That's the opposite of 1984. Like actual looking at not even
DEI
equality,
because in
equity.
Corporations you're being monitored for every single thing that you say.
No, they weren't.
Because
that
you
was
can't.
internal
You can't state master bedroom in a real estate appraisal.
Where did that happen? What kind of media do you watch? I still like every
It's
house
not
I ever
media.
saw
It's
is a
not
master
media.
bedroom.
It's
I've been to
not
very
media
blue
that I
areas.
watch.
I've been to blue areas. They're still called master bedrooms. Does anyone in chat have a situation where you see bedrooms that are not called master bedrooms? What kind of hippie community in Oregon or Washington do you got to live in? Where do you?
It's called Realtor.
Don't tell me where you live.
It's called Realtor.com's yellow underlining for being flagged.
Who cares? That's not a governmental policy. That's if that's true, it's a private corporation doing that. There was no lawsuit from the Biden administration going after people for DEI. I mean, Trump is going after people for being for being pro DEI. He wants to cut their freedom of speech out. But all right.
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure we could argue
you
more on
again.
the social
you gotta call in
effects
again. Call in again sometime.
Of DEI, like because of alienation and
well, white people gotta toughen up. White people gotta nut up and sack up.
All right, see you around, man. Had a good one.
All right, have a good one, man. See you. Thank you for the call. My people do gotta sack up, bro. For real. Thank you for watching, guys. Is anyone new in chat? Is anyone new to the stream? I appreciate you guys watching. Please drop a like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Really appreciate it. If you can donate to the channel through my Patreon, really appreciate it through Patreon on those tiers. If you want to become a member, get a green name in chat. I see your name more. $3 a month on YouTube for the opening tier. I'm $10 away from 10%. On Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo, Geopolitics, if you want to donate to 10% on my goal. I'm $5 away. Someone donated. Who donated? Sri's here. Thank you for $5. Yelling. Thank you so much. No, get a job, liberal. Okay, there's another person.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice.
That's what I love to hear. Thank you for $5, Sri. Thank you, thank you. In the middle of the night. Wow, dude. Wow, dude. I need 4 more subscribers to get 28,300. I need 4 more subscribers. Please do that. 4 more subscribers. Oxy. Yeah, oh, Oxy, you're right. You have to subscribe or go to rehab. We'll make you go to rehab. Hello? Okay. Cool. In the middle of the night.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey.
Howdy, what's up?
Okay, what are you discussing now?
We were talking about DEI.
DEI?
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not much into the DEI thing. I just kind of dismiss it. I mean, I do think that Biden was pushing it on most companies, on, you know, especially the government. Of course, he did in the government, but
how did he push it?
how did he push it? Well, I mean, it was throughout the government. That's why Trump come in and took it back out.
But what did Biden do in the government to push DEI?
I guess he just told them to start using it. And most of them followed him.
If you have a big issue with DEI, do you think it's bad that you can't really say like what's bad about it or what was
DEI.
happening?
That's what I just said. I
you
don't have.
don't? Okay. Well.
No, I really don't care about it. I mean, I don't think they should use it.
Well, if you don't know what it is, how do you know if you like it or not?
I do know what it is. I don't think they should use it.
So, like for example, I was a poor white boy from a poor white community, and DEI helped me go to college.
How
Because
would it help you go to college?
What was that? Sorry.
How would it help you go to college?
There were special financial aid packages for poor white kids from rural areas, especially to go to many schools because they needed more diversity and equity and inclusion of the poor white kids. So I was able to get a financial aid package that can help me get into a school where usually only rich people can go. But they try to get people in from a diverse background of different communities, which take into account things like class, sex, race, and by sex I mean gender. It takes into account a lot of those things. So I benefit from it. Veterans can be included in some of these programs too. So it really depends on what it is.
Okay, why would they not go by your record?
Because, so for example, I was in a home where I had to see many things like abuse and trauma and suicide and a lot of issues with finances, and I went through a lot of stressors in life I had to fight through. So as I got through that, it was easier for the kids who are from rich areas who have these perfect little families where they can pay $10,000 to SAT tutors to get a high 1,400 or 1,500 score. So when I got like a mid 1,300 score and I couldn't get into the fancy university, they said, hey, this kid got this score, but he fought through a lot of shit. And we should probably give him a chance, although the usual way we grade this person might not be super representative of the value they can bring to our campus.
I really don't know. That's hard to say. I mean, really, because I mean there are other mitigating factors, right? But I still think it should go by your record.
Isn't that my record though? Isn't the stuff I had to actually go through my record?
Very way to do it. That's the most.
How is
fair
that more
way to
fair
do it.
though? If I've actually gone through things in life and it doesn't show up on a test score, why would someone, in that case, then only really rich kids would ever have a chance at success?
We all go through. Rich kids go through things in life.
Not the same way.
What do you mean, not the same way?
Not all of them.
Right, and not all poor people go through a bunch of crap
But
either.
most poor people go through a lot of things that rich people don't need to go through because they're rich. So like when I had to save up to buy cleats for soccer and I couldn't practice on the travel teams, or I couldn't have the special tutors or nannies like the other kids, that really hurt my development. I was able to work through it. I should probably be ranked above them, honestly, because I ended up being more skilled than they are.
Mm-hmm.
But they got higher test scores because they were able to just like spend all their time studying instead of worrying about actual life things. So like if you look at DEI for black students, for example, if we know that like from black neighborhoods and ghettos, which are areas that are forced, black people were forced into by the government and racist policies throughout our country's history. If we know that these communities have low opportunities and high crime rates, largely because of what the U.S. government has done in the past 300 years, I'm not a big fan of the government all the time. Hey, when I'm having these conversations about America, I really would appreciate if you don't bring partisanship into it. Like when I'm talking about like what, again, when I talk about America,
they were the slaveholders. They started the KKK.
Okay, the
Jim
Republican
Crow
Party
laws.
was against Martin Luther King Jr., right? The Republican Party was happy when MLK got shot. They were happy when he died. The Republican Party was against the Civil Rights Movement.
How would you know that?
You can go back and read polling and testimonies from back then. They were happy. They said MLK was a terrorist that was bringing violence to the streets.
Civil rights.
But it's just sad. I'm talking about real things in America. You bring up partisanship. That's not true, by the way. The only reason I'm responding to you is because what you said is not true. But it's a dumb point to bring up.
No, it's true.
It's a dumm point to bring up. It's stupid. It's dumb.
What do
The
you mean
parties
it's a dumb
today,
point? You're
the
one
parties
that said
today,
300 years what the
the
government
party,
did over
the parties
300
today,
years, what the
the
Democrat
party
did
Hey,
for
ma'am,
300 years.
the party today is not the same as it was even 10 years ago. All right?
Sure
Things
it is.
change over
Still
100-year
slave
times.
party. They still believe some set of people are lower than the rest of us.
How do you feel about Black Lives Matter?
I think it's a sham.
Okay, well, you are on the side of the KKK then.
How do you say that?
You must be a traditional Democrat then.
I'm not a Democrat at all.
You're a traditional Democrat because you agree with the racist Democrats back then. Yeah.
Well, how do you figure? Oh, I guess you think the party swapped, right?
No, they did not swap, but the Dixiecrats in the South, they went to the Republican Party once the black people started to vote in America. Yeah, the Dixiecrats left the party once it became less racist. Yeah, that is a fact. They didn't switch, but the coalitions did change.
No, they voted for the Democrats because of what is it called? I can't even remember what it's called now.
Dixiecrats were Southern Democrats who were very
I know what the hell
anti-civil
they
rights.
were. I know what
And they
Dixiecrats
became
were.
Republicans after the Civil Rights Movement. They switched parties.
Why
That was
would,
the switch
why
that
would
happened.
they do that? Why would they
Because
do
they were
that?
anti-black people. They did not like black people. So they became
Right,
Republicans.
and who passed the Civil Rights Bill? Republicans did, not Democrats.
The parties were different back then, before they switched. Yeah. Some
why would they
Republicans,
pass it
but
and
that's what
say,
I'm
okay,
saying.
I'm gonna
That's why I
switch
said the
parties?
parties didn't switch. Some Republicans became Democrats and some Democrats became Republicans. But the Republicans
Well,
of
yeah,
today
that's
were the racist
today.
Democrats that
That's
switched
now.
over.
I mean, that happens all the time. Some switch, some don't. But the parties did not switch.
Because it
their
became a
ideology.
Democratic machine, because LBJ, and that became a Democratic machine and a Democratic support base. Even if a
Democrats have
couple of
always
Republicans
believed in
were not completely
government,
against it.
Big government, giving handouts so people have to live off the government and depend on them.
I think it's good to make sure our country can provide our citizens health care. I think it's a good thing.
You do.
Europe
okay,
can do
so
it.
So everybody, right?
Yeah, why not? I think we're a
Europe
rich
can do
country.
it. How much do they pay in taxes?
A
And
little
how
bit.
good
They
is
pay
that
they pay less overall in healthcare. They live longer than we do, and they're happier because they care for each other. In America, we don't care about each other.
I cannot believe you said that. How
No, they
good is
live
their
longer in
healthcare?
Europe, and they're happier than Americans. Yeah, because
How
they
good
care
is
for each other
Canadian
more.
healthcare? It's because of this crap. That's why
But Canadians
people aren't
Canadians live a lot longer than we do, and they're happier. But it doesn't. I mean,
happy. How
Americans
good
are
is
more
their
selfish.
healthcare? How
Good.
good is their
It's really
healthcare?
good. They're ranked above
Really?
America
So
in
how long
overall
you gotta
care.
wait
Yeah.
for a broke leg?
I have to wait right now for a hernia surgery, like 8 months. It's the same wait time in Canada. It depends on where you have care at, what network you're in America. We might have faster wait time if you're rich, but it
I don't
depends
know
on where you are.
anybody in America that has to wait 8 months for hernia surgery.
Okay, you don't live in a crowded area, but like some areas in America have lower supply of healthcare. In Canada, they have better results from healthcare. They pay less for healthcare. They have a better system. But
They
yeah.
do not pay less when they're paying way more in taxes.
No, because they don't pay premiums. They don't pay deductibles. They don't pay private insurance companies. They just pay for
And
healthcare.
they got crap health care.
No, they have better healthcare than we do. Like every ranking,
they
like life
don't.
expectancy, outcomes, access to a private, a family care physician. It's all better. It doesn't matter because I mean Americans don't care that much, but
What do you mean Americans don't care that much?
Americans are very individualistic. They're kind of selfish in the way they do politics.
Exactly. Yes, we are. We're individual. Yep, we sure are.
Yeah, and our country doesn't do good when we're like that. When we're isolated from our neighbors.
We're not isolated.
Yeah, I mean, right now you go outside, no one's even outside anymore. They're all on their phones inside watching podcasts and a bunch of other bullshit.
Well, I agree with that. Yeah, people need to get off their phones and go socialize. Yeah.
Yeah,
There ain't no
they
doubt
need to do
about that. That's a problem with the country right now.
Well, like even right now,
Everybody
like
needs to get off
the
the phone.
president seems like he's going to give a pardon to Ghislaine Maxwell, a convicted sex trafficker, to help clear his name in the Epstein files. And it seems like Republicans just don't care about it.
So what do you think's in the Epstein files about him?
I mean, I don't know why he's so worried about it. I really don't. I'm not a big conspiracy person, but once he started acting all scared about it, then I got a little bit more, a little bit more skeptical because he seems really scared about talking about it.
I don't think he's scared about anything. He's never been scared about anything.
Republicans shut down Congress for the summer, a whole branch of government, to prevent voting on the Epstein files because they did not want to vote on it.
This was their usual break.
No, they shut down early. They had a bunch of other votes to do. Even Thomas Massey and Josh Hawley and a bunch of other people talked about this. They took a break early, and well, not Josh Hawley, but Thomas Massey talked about this as well. They cut it down early to prevent because they forced the Epstein file vote.
The one you can trust, right?
No, I don't. I actually don't trust Thomas Massie at all. I'm just saying that even Republicans will say they shut down all of Congress. They shut down the entire House to prevent voting on the Epstein files. And Trump said Obama made them now. Trump said Obama made them. Trump said that Hillary made them. Trump said Biden made them. Trump said they're fake.
He did not say that. He said
He said Obama made
Democrat
them.
lies in the files because they have messed with them.
How did they? Wait, why did Biden not release them?
I don't know. If something's so bad about Trump, why didn't he release them?
Wait, why would they go through all that trouble to plant information if they weren't going to release it? Why did they make fake information for Trump to find?
Well, maybe so Trump wouldn't release them because they put this other crap in there so Trump wouldn't release them so shit wouldn't come out about them.
That made no sense at all.
Okay, so if Biden put fake stuff in there about Trump,
Why would they not just hide the information about them?
Wait a minute.
Why would they not just hide the information? Why would they make up fake information about Trump then?
Well, maybe because people can find it, just like they found the Russiagate stuff.
Then why wouldn't Trump just expose it? If it's not real.
I'm sure he will.
Why did they make it up if they weren't going to release it? It's so weird. They made up all these fake things about Trump, and apparently they just left it for him to find.
I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know what the deal is, but I know Trump didn't have nothing to do with Epstein Island.
Okay.
They were friends before. They were
I
friends. Rich men hang with rich men.
They were best friends.
Living in New York.
Yeah, they were both partying in Mar-a-Lago together too. Yeah, they were together everywhere together.
Yeah.
They were a cute couple.
Yeah, until he threw him out. Yeah.
Yeah, after Epstein stole Trump's favorite girls from the massage parlor.
Right. Yeah, exactly. His workers. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you would think the line would be assaulting young girls, but apparently stealing Trump's workers was the only thing he cared about.
This was before that.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. They were friends while he was still doing crazy shit with girls. They were friends for 15 years.
No, he wasn't. He didn't know anything about it.
Do you think you could be best friends with someone for 15 years and not know the word with women?
He's the only one that worked with the FBI to go against Jeffrey.
When Trump said his 1-year-old daughter has sexy legs and hopefully sexy breasts, was that weird?
Yes, that's weird.
That's really weird. It sounds like something a pedophile would say.
It's weird, but you know what? I say to my daughter all the time, she's beautiful.
Do you tell your daughter? Wait, do you tell your 1-year-old daughter she has sexy legs?
She has a nice figure. I mean,
what?
It's the same thing.
Ew.
That's what? Ew.
I mean, if they're not a 1-year-old, maybe if they're like an adult, you could talk to them about stuff. But if they're a 1-year-old, have you looked at a 1-year-old baby and said they have sexy legs?
No.
That's really weird to say about a 1-year-old. I don't know.
I don't know if he said it about a 1-year-old.
His daughter was 1 at the time. It was Tiffany. He also said he wants to have sex with Ivanka, which is kind of weird too. It's whatever.
He did not say that shit.
Okay, I'll put it up on the screen. Let me find it really quick. Trump, sex, Ivanka.
Mm-hmm.
He talked with Howard Stern about how it's okay to call his daughter a piece of ass. Let me see. I have to find the video.
And where did this come from?
Thank you, everyone.
He was on The View.
Donald Trump.
Trump said it. Where is he at? Here you go. It's on the screen.
Downright cringeworthy, like on The View in 2006.
I said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird. Stop
You know what? He said he'd be dating her.
Distracting his daughter from being talked about as a sex object,
where's the other
he has
one?
encouraged it multiple times. On Howard Stern's radio show in 2000, Wendy Williams asked you have in common.
What's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald?
So Ivanka says a cute answer. With your father, you have in common real estate or golf. I mean, that's a cute answer. And then Trump, what do you have in common with your daughter? Let's see what he says.
In common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
I don't like it. A little bit weird, but.
Okay, yeah, it's a little bit weird. So he was a different person back then. Also, people grow, people change, people mature.
Yeah, but after people do that kind of stuff, Trump doesn't like him anymore.
How you figure?
If they grow and mature, he likes them before they grow and mature. What do you mean? He likes them. He likes them younger than that.
No, he likes them younger than him. He don't like them young.
Okay. I guess. I don't know why he had 16-year-olds working in a massage parlor.
What about Joe Biden? How about him?
What about Joe
sniffing
Biden?
kids all
That's the
time?
best answer to Trump. Yeah. What about Joe Biden giving
What
hugs
about him sniffing kids all the time on TV? By the
when
way.
Trump grabs his daughter's hips and starts rocking them? It's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. But what about Joe Biden giving a hug and like touching his nose to someone's head? That's crazy.
Joe Biden grabbed.
I would rather Joe Biden grab. And I would, I'd rather Joe Biden hug. If I had a young family member, I'd rather Joe Biden hug them rather than Trump say they have sexy legs as a child. I'll be honest, like every single time.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Oh, okay.
And Joe Biden. What about the sexual assaults Joe Biden did? Nobody ever talks about that.
Yeah, because there's no evidence of it, so they don't really talk about it.
Oh, but there's evidence that Trump did, right?
Yeah. From his own
Eugene
mouth,
Carroll,
he talked
are we gonna
about
bring up Eugene Carroll.
the case he lost in court.
The case, yeah, exactly. In New York, when they made a special law to bring this special thing against him about it. She don't even remember what year it was. And Trump totally walks in a department store and just goes in the dressing room with her and assaults her. That is the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life.
So, let's see. Crap.
So when you talk about policy,
so like when you go through all the court reviews, I don't know why you think they made a new law for it, but when you talk to all the
yes, they did. New York passed a new law.
What new law did they make for this Trump?
For people back that the statute of limitations had done run out. They sure did.
So are you saying the only protection Trump had was a statute of limitations?
When the woman wanted to bring some lawsuit against him, yes. Because nothing was said before then.
Oh, well, if someone, so like, are you saying that Trump did sexually assault her, but it's okay because of the statute of limitations?
No, that's not what I just said.
But the only defense you have is a statute of limitations.
She said, okay, so she said it happened in the 90s, right? 95 or something like that. So if she's within 2 years of whatever it was supposed to have happened, and she's got so much time to file a lawsuit, that was passed. So they passed a
so
law,
like usually no, I'm against
everybody 1 year to file a lawsuit. Check it.
Now here's the thing though, like when I think about the rich and powerful, I'm against the rich and powerful abusing women. So like I can understand why it's hard to bring that up right away after Trump assaulted her. It'd be hard to bring up right away, especially when he's notorious for lying and attacking people and threatening them. At the time, he's a thug, he's a criminal, he's a gang member.
He's not the only one who's accused of it.
When you have like a civil court claim go through like that, I'd probably take it seriously, especially when Trump has shown so much evidence of him being very grabby with women, going in locker rooms with underage girls, calling his 1-year-old daughter sexy. He tried getting Ivanka. If he brags about grabbing women by the you know what, he definitely has done it multiple times.
He said you can.
Okay.
He didn't say he did.
Okay. I do not know one person who would say that who has not assaulted a woman. I do not know one guy who would say that.
There's lots of guys that brag about crap like that.
About being able to just grab them even when they don't want you to? No one I know. I've been in the dirtiest locker rooms, all right, for track, football, all that kind of stuff. I've never heard some shit. And I've heard some crazy shit. With what?
With rich people.
I grew up in a shit, dirt, poor area. I grew up in one of the poorest areas in America.
Can do a lot of things that most normal
Listen,
men
if my Appalachia town did not talk like that, then I would not expect a rich person to talk like that.
Well,
I don't know why you're giving a pass to it. It's just crazy.
I'm not giving it a pass. I'm saying they talk like that.
Okay, and rich people also do
We
that.
all know that rich people can do a lot more than we can do.
Yeah, I'm against that. So like, I'm happy he got held
And women
accountable.
throw themselves at rich men all the time.
I'm happy he got held accountable.
Do what?
It's good.
You're happy what?
I'm happy he got held accountable. It's still good. And I hope that when Ghislaine Maxwell comes out to help him out with this case, I hope she doesn't like get a pardon. But if he pardons Ghislaine,
You're just trying to
if
dig at
Trump
stuff.
if Trump pardons
It's bull.
if
It's
Trump
bull.
pardons Ghislaine Maxwell, will you say it's a bad thing?
Yes, I will.
Okay,
And I don't believe he's going to pardon her.
we'll see. Or if they reduce her sentence. What if they reduce her sentence and move her to a low security prison?
They already moved her. They
Yeah.
already did that.
So we're putting like immigrants in Alligator Alcatraz, but we can put
Right.
her in a minimum security prison to be all in a
Right.
cushy
We're putting
lifestyle.
Criminal illegal immigrants. Yes.
So like for international sex trafficker, she can be in a cushy low security prison because they want her to cover up for Trump. But immigrants got to be put in
Who did
Alligator
she
Alcatraz.
sex traffic to? Who did she sex traffic
So
to?
why? What?
How come nobody else has been? How come nobody's been prosecuted for it?
Do you think she's not a sex trafficker?
I don't know.
She's a convicted sex trafficker.
I know she's convicted of it.
Even Trump said she took the girls off from the spa in Mar-a-Lago. Even Trump has reinforced that.
She did, or Jeffrey did.
She helped run it. She's the one that got all the girls and ran the pyramid scheme,
And what scheme was that?
where they would make the girls, which she called her slaves, go and recruit other girls. That's the person to abuse. That's the person Trump wants to give a cushy treatment to. So we got to brutalize immigrants, but we can give a cushy treatment to Ghislaine Maxwell, Trump's old friend. It's just really crazy.
If they are trying to get more prosecutions out of it, they're going to need a witness.
Now, the issue is, if they can reduce her sentence or give her a cushy lifestyle, then she can say things that Trump admin wants her to say. If they had the truth on their side, they would not need to give Ghislaine Maxwell a sweetheart deal. And most people see that.
She would have to produce proof of it. She is not going to go by
Proof of
her
what?
word. Otherwise, it's not going to fly.
Well, all they need is they want her to come and testify and say, like, oh, well, Trump is not involved in this. And if they have to give her a sweetheart deal for it, it's really weird.
You can't prove a negative, first of all. Okay? So you can't prove that Trump didn't have anything to do with it. The only way you could do that is prove that he had something to do with it. And as much as they have investigated that man,
Then why are they helping out Ghislaine Maxwell then? What is the reason they're helping her though? Why are they helping Ghislaine Maxwell then? Like, what is the reason?
I don't know. We don't know yet. I have
Trump's
no idea.
personal defense attorney met with her. His personal defense attorney has met with her to get a special deal.
Attorney General. Yes, he sure did.
Trump's personal defense lawyer is meeting with her.
Deputy Attorney General.
Yeah, who was Trump's personal defense lawyer? Yeah, is meeting with her privately.
And now he is a U.S. Deputy Attorney General.
Okay. And he was
Okay,
Trump's
so they
personal
can't
defense
tell him.
lawyer.
So
He's
what?
there to protect Trump. That's why he's
Who
meeting with
is?
Ghislaine Maxwell by himself. That would not be happening
you're full of it.
under
You're
any other
full of it.
circumstance.
You're for just keep.
You don't
reading
think
whatever-
you don't think it's a conflict of interest for your personal defense lawyer to be working in that position? You don't think that's a conflict of interest? I know you don't believe that.
No, I don't.
Okay. All right.
Sure don't.
Well, everyone in America knows that's
People
bullshit.
Biden had. Look at the people Biden had.
Bring up Biden again. Yeah, bring up Biden. You know, I care about this right now.
What do
You're really
You had nothing to say about
it's
Biden,
really
did you?
offensive to these girls that were
What
sex
you about
trafficked.
Biden and the oil thing, and he gave all these.
Can you talk
contracts
about?
out of what-
I'm talking to you about Trump, about this Ghislaine Maxwell situation, and about the young girls that are in pain now because he's helping out a convicted sex trafficker that trafficked them and
What else
tortured
you
them.
wanna talk about it? What else you want to talk about it?
It's just like, if Joe Biden's personal defense attorney then worked for the U.S. government and met with a convicted sex trafficker, you would not be, to clear up his name, you would not be saying this about Joe Biden.
Who said he was there to clear up his name?
Why is he there?
Because she said she would testify.
Testify what?
I have no idea. said
She already
she
had
wanted
her
to come and
trial.
testify in
She already
front
had her
of the-
trial.
in front of the
Why would she
United
testify?
States.
Why would she testify ever? She had her trial
To bring
already.
out all the other people.
She had a trial. Why would she not testify there?
I don't know why she didn't.
So, like, why would they need her to come out to defend Trump once Trump is implicated in the past few weeks? Weird timing.
Trump is, first of all, y'all tried to implicate Trump years ago.
I don't
Right.
care about y'all. I'm talking about even right wingers right now are forcing the issue, and they look at Trump like, what the hell's going on?
They're
And even
forcing the
Republicans.
issue. They want to see who else is involved.
She would have released that in trial. She already lied on trial. She already lied under oath.
What's she lie about?
I don't know what she lied about, but we know she's a liar. We know she is. She had said things that are lies in court verifiably. I don't have the lies on me right now, but I don't think a convicted sex trafficker is very trustworthy who needs a pardon from the president. I don't think that person's trustworthy when they meet with the personal defense lawyer from Trump.
That's what I just said. You cannot go on her word alone. You'd have to have proof of anything.
Then the question would be again, why is Trump's former personal defense lawyer going and talking to her privately about this and giving her a better prison stay?
He is the deputy.
Why is Trump's personal defense lawyer going to talk to her, his former one, who's now in the government?
He is the number 2 in charge.
It has nothing to do with her trial. Nothing at all. This is a whole extra meeting they scheduled. The question is, what in Trump's interest is this going to do?
It didn't have shit to do with Trump's interest. It has to do with justice.
No, it didn't. She's having an appeal at the Supreme Court right now. But they're talking about giving her a sweetheart deal to help clear Trump's name.
Listen to me. They always meet with people that want to testify first to see what they have to say, to see if it's even worth it.
So they got what they wanted?
I don't know if they got.
It's just like,
Nobody
it's just
knows
kind of
what they got.
crazy. Like, if Joe Biden's personal defense lawyer became, a government official and worked for the government and went to a convicted sex trafficker who Biden was friends with for so long after Biden gets accused of it, and she gets moved to a minimum security prison, you would never be covering for them like this. It's just you're part of the Trump fanboy club.
Okay,
It is what it is.
so Kash Patel, let's talk about Kash Patel. Okay, Kash Patel, he was the one that helped with Russiagate and all that stuff back in his first term. Should he be FBI director?
Should he be?
Yeah.
He shouldn't be.
He's a good friend of Trump's, right?
Yeah.
He's right there with Trump. So should he be FBI director?
No, he should not be.
They name all of these appointed positions are people that they trust. That's
Yeah,
why
you should
they're
trust
their buddies,
people.
their
You should
friends,
trust someone, but
their
not your best
lawyers,
friend.
Or whoever.
Kash Patel wrote a children's book where Trump is the hero in the children's
Yes,
book,
I know he did.
calling
I
for
sure
a
did.
kingdom where Trump is the ruler.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not the same as having a personal relationship with someone you trust. That's a loyal follower of a cult.
Okay. So he trusts him. He knows he's not going to backstab him.
Yeah, because
Why
he
would
wants
you
them
not
to.
appoint
Yeah,
people like
again. Yeah, because again, you got to block the Epstein file. So yeah, because Kash Patel's lying about it now. So yeah, it makes sense. You need
What's he
loyalists to
lying
cover it
about?
up.
What did Kash Patel lie about?
He told Rogan there is no video at all, and then a video came out like a week later. That's a edited video of the wrong cell that they said was the real cell.
Bill Barr is the one that said there was no video.
Epstein, when he died, Trump was president,
Yeah,
and then Kash
Bill
Patel
Barr
and Dan
said there
Bongino
was
reinforced
no
it.
video.
Kash Patel and Dan Bongino reinforced it.
Because that's what they were told.
They are the leaders of the FBI.
By the deep state. The people
No,
that
it's
were
the deep state. It's the deep state. It's the deep state.
It's
the deep state, dude.
Like
They are the deep state. They are the deep state. They own the entire government. They are the deep state. They're redacting Trump's name from the Epstein file right now with the FBI. They ordered everyone to cover his name up.
Redacting everybody's name.
No, they're okay.
Yeah,
All right.
they are.
Okay. You are allied with a convicted sex trafficker, and it's because you love Trump, and you're not gonna ever move away from it. I don't know why there's no conversation to be had here. You're not convincible on these issues. No, but like your actions back it up. You just want to complain about Biden. Like you're not an independent. I would never be able to change your mind on anything. There's not one thing we could change your mind
Exactly.
on.
You know what? We agreed on something, and you still argue with me about it.
I wouldn't be able to change your mind. All right. Have a good night. I'm getting tired. You guys have a good night. I couldn't stream tonight, so I went to stream for a little bit today. I kept that one going longer than I should have, but I'm getting off anyway. So I thought I might as well just let it dry out for more. Yeah, like you know it. Like she used Biden sniffing or whatever, or hugging a person or a kid in a way they don't like. And that's proof of Trump being, or of Biden being a predator, right? But Trump sending his former personal defense attorney to privately meet with Maxwell, a convicted sex trafficker, who were best friends with Trump, to give her a sweetheart deal to move to a minimum security prison. That's not evidence of any weird stuff going on. It's just kind of crazy. All right. She did not come out in trial because she was in defense mode. Oh, yeah. Ghislaine Maxwell is actually a hero who's going to bring down the deep state. Trump supporters are at the point where they think Ghislaine Maxwell is their hero. She's a victim, guys. That's the narrative on Newsmax, by the way. Unironically. They say she's a victim. She's a victim, guys. Yeah, eat up the... Alright, please drop a like, comment, subscribe. I'll be back on tomorrow night. I really appreciate you watching. Oh my god. Alright. Please drop a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Please drop a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Please drop a like, comment. Thank you for... If you want to send me donations for my channel, please do that to Joel Out Politics on Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo. That's Joel Out Politics. Joel Out Politics on Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo is the name of my channel. Really appreciate all the support. My email is joeloutpolitics@gmail.com if you want to email me anything or ask about any conversations you want to have, or if you have any letters. I read all my emails if I get any. I'm not big enough to get too many emails, so it's not that big of a deal, but if you have any. Yep. And there's a coffee link as well to donate there. All right, guys. Gotta get to doing stuff. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for everything. Donations. Blah 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 blah. This dude is running from that conservative black woman. Do you think she was a conservative black woman? What? How would you know that? Hostile with a million rules? Weird. Alright, have a good night, guys. Skinny white little punk? Hey, dude, I'm not. I would never be white. That's gross. Being white is disgusting. I would never do that to myself. She definitely was. Because I know her. Yep, you know her. No muscle tone. Hey, buddy, don't fantasize about me too hard. You're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna get all dizzy from a lack of blood flow. No, not one more call. I'll be back on tomorrow night. I'm getting sick. My throat's getting scratchy, so I don't want to push it too much. When you find out the truth, you're gonna puke and beg Almighty God for forgiveness. Okay. All right, guys. Shout out to Oxy, our associate Oxycontin pill, pain pill doll. Appreciate the doll. Really good doll. Appreciate her. Your mom's got to get you under control. Join Discord too. Eat healthy. Drink water. Thank you. I'll try. I'll think about it. Liberal women are alpha. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night. See ya. 104 likes at a day stream on a day stream. What a lovely crowd. All right, guys. See you tomorrow night.